Good morning, UCB. Today's reading comes from a book that we don't often hear in worship, the Book of Sirach, also known as Ecclesiasticus. Sirach is part of the Apocrypha, those sacred writings that sit just outside the Hebrew canon, but have long been cherished in Christian tradition for their wisdom and depth. Written by Yeshua ben Sira, a Jewish scribe in the 2nd century BCE, this book gathers teachings on justice, humility, generosity, and the awe of God, all grounded in everyday experiences. I chose this passage from the lectionary because it's rare to hear that we get to hear Yeshua ben Sira's voice in our Sunday readings. And yet, his words today feel strikingly relevant. They speak to the heart of divine justice, not as a distant judgment, but as intimate response. They remind us that God listens, God feels, and God is moved. Today, we gather around a text that pulses with urgency and tenderness. Yeshua ben Sira, that ancient wisdom writer, reminds us that God is not aloof, not a distant monarch doling out justice from some throne in the clouds. No, God is pierced by prayer, pierced by the cries of the humble, pierced by the ache of the widow and the orphan. And this piercing is not metaphor. It is reality. Now, we affirm that God is not static, not unmoved. God is relational, responsive, evolving. God is not the cause of suffering, but the companion in it. And more than that, God is changed by it. Sirach says, the prayer of the humble pierces the clouds. We might say the prayer of the humble reshapes the very heart of God. This is not weakness. This is divine vulnerability, and it is holy. Think of the widow pouring out her complaint. Not a polished prayer, not a liturgical masterpiece, just raw grief, just truth. And that truth becomes part of God's own experience. God receives it, absorbs it, and responds. Not with magic fixes, but with new possibilities, with fresh lures towards justice, with gentle nudges toward compassion. This is the God who walks with us, not ahead of us. The God who whispers, choose love, even when the world shouts, choose power. And here's the miracle. Our choices matter to God. Our generosity, our humility, our prayers, they don't just echo here in the sanctuary. They ripple through the divine. They help shape what God offers next. In chapter 35, verse 21, Sirach says, give to the Most High as he has given to you. Not out of fear, not to earn favor, but because we are co-creators, because our giving expands the field of possibility. Because when we act with justice, with compassion, we make it easier for others to do the same. And God rejoices in that expansion. Every moment is a weaving. God offers threads, beauty, truth, kindness. Sometimes we drop the knot. Sometimes we knot it up. Sometimes we can't quite get the thread in the needle. But we always choose how to stitch. God never stops offering. God never stops luring us toward the next good stitch. And when the humble pray, when the broken cry out, when the widow pours out her complaint, God doesn't just listen. God is pierced, and in that piercing, new threads are offered. Threads of solidarity, threads of courage, threads of hope. As theologian John B. Cobb Jr. once wrote, God is affected by what happens and responds with new possibilities for good. The world contributes to the divine life. So, what does this mean to us here in our small congregation? It means our prayers matter, not because they change God's mind, but because they deepen God's heart. It means our generosity matters, not because it earns us reward, but because it expands the possibilities for love. It means our humility matters, because it opens space for God to move in us, through us, and with us. And it means that when we feel unheard, unseen, forgotten, God is already pierced, already moved, already offering new paths, even if we cannot see them yet. So let us be bold in our prayers. Let us be generous in our giving. Let us be humble in our living. Because in every moment, we are shaping the divine as the divine is shaping us. Amen.